The last recording got cut off kwa sababu ya Kenya Power, lakini I need to invest in a generator for it. But anyway, here we are back, and we are back because the conversation did not end, and Ngito was explaining to us some stuff that I was very curious about. Then we are almost finishing, but yeah, the floor is yours.
Um, how I write is I kind of let my mind like take the lead. Um, I'll quote another piece of mine that's called "I must cook this stew," and basically when I thought of that piece, nilikuwa napika stew for real, kwa nyumba ya mamangu, and I was cooking and I was like, I could write about this. I could write. At first, I was thinking about the process of like making a stew, onions, garlic, ginger. Like it's a build up. Tupi kila kitu at once kama tumbukiza, and I was moving from the kitchen to like the living room where my laptop was, and then the main part of like that story came to me after that. Like, oh, I could make this piece about something else that's not stew. The stew could just be symbolism. So with that taste of my lover piece, I think a lot of writers and filmmakers have created art about cannibalism, about like maybe loving someone so much that you want to eat them. When you're in love with someone and you're like biting them playfully and stuff like that. So it's just a build up of that, right? It's just a I love you so much. I want to consume you. I want to live in your skin because we tell that to like our lovers. I want to nataka kukukula. I want to live in your skin. Oh, I want to cuddle so much. Like I feel your skin on mine. So it was just like a take on that. Of course, I do not practice cannibalism. Neither do I endorse cannibalism. It is just I do believe in art being a very expressive thing with no censorship or with no boundaries. And even things I read, sometimes I read things that I don't believe in. Like I don't
Yeah,
in real
I
life this is something I'd engage with. But yeah, like for example, watching Breaking Bad, which is one of my favorite shows, it's about cooking meth. I don't cook meth, neither do I consume meth, but it's one of my favorite shows out there.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
But fuck Epstein and all those people who are doing really horrible things to like children and women. That's yeah, yeah.
I remember I didn't even Mimi kwanza I have not followed up with that story. I usually watch Candace, and when she's, I hear things up na pale, but I only follow her closely when she's talking about something I actually udaku ikishika kama ile story ya Blake Lively na inaitwa nani? Uchali mwingine. I don't know if you don't know this one. Do you follow Candace? Candace Owens?
No, this is the black lady who has, I think, a podcast or a news show.
You don't follow her. Yeah. So she's very controversial, but bold. This Chile has balls. She's bold. So, and she takes on anyone and everyone. Which is crazy, including presidents. So,
Mm.
so this time, like last year, she was taking down, she was just chamboying this Hollywood drama that is going on right now. Started last year of two people. They made this movie from, again, Colin Hoover. So the book,
Oh,
I
I
had read
think
the
I
book
heard about
first.
that.
Yeah, so I
Mm.
read the book. The book is It Ends With Us, and I love the book because the book is talking about domestic violence, but when it starts you don't know it's talking about domestic violence because she actually makes us fall in love with the character, with the guy, but died nakuja kujua haya kwani kumeenda aje, kijana ameanza
Mm.
kuchapana aje. And I found that to be very, very intriguing because in my world, or rather in my I have not been able to write villains yet. I am hoping to get there one day because I am intrigued by villains, but not in that aspect. In the aspect that you were speaking, just because I'm intrigued by it doesn't mean I am it, So I'm intrigued by the psychology of that. How do I get into the mind of that villain and write that and kutoa mtu atoke hivyo. So in my narrow view of villains, I am assuming you're bad from the get-go. But this chick made us love this guy from the beginning, and we fell in love with him because he was good looking and he was attentive and blah blah blah. Kidogo kidogo mangumi zikaanza kushuka. And you're
Mm.
heartbroken. As a reader, you're also heartbroken. Because I was like, what has happened? I literally went, Googled, what is the story about? Because
Mm.
I thought it was a rom com. It was not. It was about domestic
Mm.
violence. So yeah, it was adapted into a movie. Now the main actors, the two actors who have you watched Gossip Girl? Not Gossip Girl.
No. No.
Oh, okay. So Ryan, you know Ryan Reynolds, right?
But I have watched. I think I've watched the show, the movie you're talking about. It ends with us. I do
And is
remember
that
watching the
Umeona?
movie that's based on.
Ah,
Yeah, that's based on one of her
so
books.
the two main characters, the one who was playing Lily and the guy, I forget his name, they went after the movie has premiered, wakaanza sasa kupigana online. Oh, sijui sexual harassment, sijui nini nini. So Candice was following it hapa na hapa, yani back to back. So I was busy on her, yani tulikuwa tunamngoja hivi. Unaamka ukiangalia social media, the first thing you're looking for is Candice. What kind of gossip does she have? Anyway, so I think blew up a lot last year. Then, so when the Epstein stuff happened, I was like, mm-mm, pole pole, ebu nileteni pole pole mimi, ebu let's go slowly. And then I accidentally bumped into this dude who was showing the images, the pictures that were in those files of
Mm.
cooked human flesh. I swear I saw that image from afar. Na hata si ati nilikuanga ati nikafungua. Ni ile unaona unachiki kama venye hapo vitu kwa screen hivi. So the person, image iko hapo kwa corner. It's a small image, but that image stuck in my head. I swear
Mm.
it kind of gave me nightmares. I
Mm.
cannot, I couldn't. So, uh, she's gone. Oh, she's back. Hi, what
I don't
happened?
know what happened. On my end, you are also gone.
Let's finish this story ndio tusikate tena na nini Kenya Power. So, yeah, so thank you for sharing that, and for that was an interesting take, the one that when you are talking about I love you so much, I want to eat you, I kind of got it. Like I want to be in your skin. That I got
Yeah.
is in that
Yeah.
sense. It is
Yeah.
the other part that lost me. but
I get that
but I
completely.
get it. I get what you are going. It literal. You made it literal, I guess. Cynthia, I think that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we are at the end of this session. Akitumungia vitu mob leo. If I'm asked what we talked about, I'll be like, everything. From being a woman to cannibalism. So so yeah. What do I want to say? Oh yeah. Tell us where you want to take your writing next. Actually, what is your goal? What are your goals as a writer?
My
Is it
goals are big.
uh-huh. Let us hear.
I do have. I'll just say this vaguely. My goals are. You know those things you say, and people are like, "How the hell are you going to achieve that?" But I do listen to a lot of artists. I do watch a lot of artists. I do read a lot of artists who have come from the ground up and they've like achieved success that is beyond comprehension. And especially for me, I'm not interested in having children. So when I truly say that art is the one thing I have to be dedicated to, that is it, right? Because if I had children, of course I'd be dedicated to them and they'd become my world.
Yeah.
But yeah, so art for me is just everything, and I do hope I get to live long enough to achieve some of these dreams. Also, to just kind of show Black girls, queer folk, Black people in general, young people, whoever is just in a marginalized or a minority group, which as Black women we can relate to, just to show them that all of these things are possible, right? You don't need to be in the West. You don't need to rely on whatever else apart from your God-given mind, apart from the talent that was given to you. And this is like for every artist out there. Um, and especially now, I feel this message is very important in the age of AI, which for me, death to AI of any form, generative AI from Chat GPT that people use to write to like generating photos and videos. It is, as a freelance writer, it is, I see it, I experience it actively taking away work from me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a very big believer in human made things, in human made art. Like, I want the AI to clean my house and do my dishes so that I get time to write. I don't want the AI to write for me so that I get time
Mhm.
to do my dishes, right?
Mm,
And
mm,
as an artist, I feel this very passionately, and nothing will ever make me believe that AI can produce art, whether it is
Mm,
bad or good. AI
mm,
cannot. That is not art. It is stealing from artists like you and me,
mm,
and generating all of this. Because as an artist, sadly, the minute you and I put our work out on Substack or any other public platform, yeah, that's it can source your style of writing or like wording from there.
yeah.
And yeah, for me, death to A. To anyone listening to this, please remember, like, as recently as like 3 years ago, we really were not using any of these things. We were using our brains to text, to email, to create
Mm,
things, to write things. We really don't need to rely on these things right now that are just making our thinking capacity shrink completely. There are people right now who cannot write a paragraph without using ChatGPT. That is quite sad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Please hire human artists. Please
Mm,
use human made things. If you want to read something, please read something from a human being. If you want to create something, please just learn how to create it. You've had my whole process has taken me 19 years now, and I'm still going.
yeah.
So there's someone who started drawing when they were 5 years old. That's what they're relying on for like their rent and stuff. So please engage with human created stuff. And artists, please don't be told that AI is what will help you. Don't even use it to reframe your writing or your art. You were given this gift by God or the universe or both. Your ancestors, they all bestowed this gift onto you. Please, wachana na maneno ya AI. The most AI we should have is like Shazam and stuff like that, which is not generative AI, but
Mm.
uninstall ChatGPT today. Leave things alone. Yeah, so I believe right now more than ever, also Kenyan artists listening to this, Kenyan writers listening to this, please support your own. As writers, we know how hard it is out there to get by, to get people to read our stuff. I'm a very big believer in Kenyan writing, in African writing. So please support your own. A simple restack, reshare, sharing pieces you love on your socials will do wonders. If you want to read Kenyan writers on Substack, you can go to my Substack and check out my activity section or my liked section to see the Kenyan writers I'm reading and subscribe to. On Instagram, I also have a highlight called Substack Recs, Substack recommendations, where I recommend really fantastic Kenyan writers. I have, I think, over 30 by now Kenyan writers
Mm,
on there. But yeah, so my Instagram is Ngito Makena. It's just you can find me on that name on all platforms.
mm,
Yeah, there's some really fantastic writers out there. Please subscribe, follow. June is one of them. Subscribe, follow, read, support, like, share, and stuff. All these free things that you can do to support Kenyan writers and African writers. So yeah, that needed to be said. Yeah,
it's good.
please support music, films. I can suggest places to watch free Kenyan films. Support Kenyan artists, photographers, videographers. They're doing a really amazing job out here. So
Mm, mm. Okay. I don't know if you mentioned what is your like big goal. You said it's big, big.
let me
Same
just say
about
my dreams. My
charge.
written. I know. I'm so sorry. I won't be able to answer that. But yeah, when my dreams come true, the world will know. And when I do make it, because your podcast will be very big at that point, I do
Amen.
promise that it is your podcast I will come to first. Hata standards
Oh,
ni yako itakuja kwanza. I say, you remember during this first podcast of ours when I said this, it has
yeah,
come true and I'm back. But yeah, man, like we have Kenyan writers who've won like Nobel like prizes. Like the sky is not even the limit. Like go further.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
only key to that is keep creating. Mazi hakuna siri ingine. We andika, andika. Hata ukiwa kwa mat, like you have a smartphone, you have, if you don't have a smartphone, you have a kabambe, you have your notebook,
yeah.
like just write, just write, just write, just create, just do the thing and everything else will follow. That's advice to myself also.
Before one question, there's something you before. How do you handle criticism, like negative, especially negative one?
I haven't gotten a lot of that in regards to my writing.
Uh-huh.
I do remember when I was a bit younger, though, when I was a younger writer, and I'd started my Sunday Service WordPress blog. I had someone tell me, a relative actually, that my grammar is shit. The story is good, but the grammar is shit. I was like 21, 22,
Mm.
and they are older than me by I think around 10 years. So I think there was a better way to phrase that. So of course at the time it really did demoralize me. And I think there's a way to critique people. I think there's a way to pass on a message. I've edited people's work personally, and editing is a very gruesome, brutal process. And I've had my work edited, and the editors I had, they were very firm, but very, very encouraging also. Like, okay, so you need to reward this, restructure this, but you have the idea, it is there. So, how do I handle when I got that first critique at the time? Yeah, it really did affect me and my writing. I think for some time I even put the blog on pause. Ultimately, I did end up like kuacha kuandika kwa your blog. Now I haven't gotten as much criticism, in my Substack era. Perhaps people who just don't agree with what I wrote, not how I wrote it. So perhaps like their beliefs, either they're religious, the kind of religious where you're judgmental, or they are whatever. And I just ignore those comments. This is not about writing, this is about each of our beliefs, and I can't change you, you can't change me. So I ignore those. The only one I've responded to was someone who was bullying someone who'd commented on my piece.
Okay.
That I absolutely don't stand for. But yeah, I think now at this age, if I get criticism, if it's not coming from a nasty place,
Mhm.
um, or a place that's just we just don't have. Oh my god, Kenya power! I have a piece.
I'm
Hi.
back. Hi.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I if it's not coming from a nasty place, I'll actually listen because criticism does help you grow.
It does.
Um, yeah, we know of musicians who they produced better albums or better projects because they were told like, hey, maybe you need a better producer or you need to work on your lyricism a bit more. Yeah, I'm a big believer in criticism, but just don't make it nasty. You don't have to tell someone like, oh, this writing is so bad, you never write again. Like, instead you can tell them,
Mm.
maybe I think a bit of read you could read this and this, it helped me improve my grammar or my writing or my flow. Yeah, there's always a good way to critique someone. So if it's coming from like a good place where you actually want me to grow, then I'll listen and implement for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. That I think also that sets apart people who are here for know what because criticism will come. People will say
Yeah.
some stuff, and then it's for you to see where is this coming from, and then for you to like buckle up and decide. Come on, a song, come on, you are going to let someone calling you a scam derail you. I let it
Sorry
bother me
about
for
what happened.
I let it bother me for 20 minutes. Then kaza nadu. By then nadu. Umse ametoka sijui
Mm.
out of nowhere. But then I moved on. I was like, that is how I learn. I moved on. So thank you so much, Ngito, for coming on. Me and you have to talk a little bit more, but I want to end this conversation for the listeners. Thank you so much for coming on. I think this has been my best session yet. I am genuinely growing in this podcasting. Yes, it has. I am growing in
You're
this
doing a
podcast.
good job. You're doing a really good job.
Thank you. Because also I think I'm nervous, the guest is nervous, Mara tuko live, Mara's doing nini, as in I'm also still trying to figure myself out. And also most of the people I'm interviewing don't have not done this before, and it's their first time.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a learning curve for everyone. So I'm so grateful for you and for coming and bringing your whole self and being very honest about who you are and what you are building and being what you stand against and for. So yeah, so thank you so much. I cannot wait to hear what you're building because I remember a pastor a while back, a pastor once prophesied over me that I will create studios as big as Universal Studios.
Mm.
Nilimwangalia
Mm.
nikamwangalia, by the way, I'm like, I do not want to say what do you mean. I don't want to put that negativity out in the world. So when he said that, by then ninyamaza tu. Alafu sasa this year when I started Sanatils, this publishing company, I'm like, oh my gosh, it may not be what he said, but it is big enough for me to actually look back and like. wow, someone said something that seemed super incredibly big years ago. Not so that maybe around 7 years ago, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
Mm.
around 7 years ago. And in that moment, it just seemed like, what are you talking about? Do you know me? What are you saying? So this is to encourage you. I don't know what your dream is, and I know it is huge. And you mentioned what is it? What Nobel Peace Prize? So I'm assuming it's as big as that. And I know it's gonna happen for you because you are already a force to reckon with. So all the best.
Thank you.
Until
Thank you.
next time when we meet. So yeah. Do you have like a parting shot or you have said everything you needed to say?
If you're an artist, create and fuck AI. And God bless. I will actually send a Bible verse that kind of talks about the gifts. I think it's Romans either 9:27 or 27:9, and it
Mhm.
says that the gifts that God gives us are irrevocable. So just remember that the gift you have as an artist, it's in you na hakuna mtu anaweza ichukua. No one can take that away from you. So yeah.
Amen. Amen. Haya, tuonane siku ingine. Bye bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much for this.